Up to this point, most of the action in the race for governor has been on the Democratic side. The crowded primary battle is pitting current and former office holders, bureaucrats, and business people against one another. The Republicans, on the other hand, looked like they were poised to skate into the general election, with Charlie Baker assuming the role of party standard bearer unopposed. But not so fast. Enter Mark Fisher. Fisher is a Tea Party candidate who fell just short of getting his name on the primary ballot at last month's state Republican convention. He's now suing the party using $50,000 of his own money. And Mark Fisher joins us now to explain the basis for his legal challenge. Welcome, Mark Fisher.
Great, Emily. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. Okay. So let's take a look at the convention results. We have those up here. Of about 2,500 delegate votes, Baker earned 83%. You came in within a half a percentage point of the 15% threshold to get on the ballot. And blank ballots made up about 2.5% of the vote. According to party leaders, it's simple math. You didn't make the cut. What do you say?
It depends on which version of the party rules you want to talk about. They told us they wouldn't count them. They told us they would count them. Back and forth. Exactly. And now the chairman of the Rules Committee agrees with us that blanks shouldn't be counted. So it depends on who you listen to.
How do you know they were counted? And are you certain they were counted for Charlie Baker?
Actually, I don't know that. I don't know that, how they were counted. But we know that the Rules Committee chairman now is saying that they should not have been counted. So even within party leadership, there's a divide. And it's too bad that a court has to decide this.
You believe that they intentionally have kept you off the ballot. Why would they do that?
Oh, I don't believe that they intentionally did it. It's just that they're confused about how to keep the rules. Their intention, you have to ask them about their intention.
All right, so I want to read a statement from the Mass GOP Chairman Kirsten Hughes, who says she's fighting you, by the way. She says in a statement, all ballot challenges were thoroughly and properly adjudicated in an open manner during the convention with Mr. Fisher's legal counsel present. Is that true? Was your lawyer there, and did he sign off on this?
We had our lawyer there. Challenges that he made were denied. So they said they were openly adjudicated. They were just not adjudicated. They blocked us at every chance. The only means they've given us, Emily, to proceed is through the courts.
And how are you going to take that through the courts? In what way?
Well, we filed a lawsuit to say, look at the evidence that we have. The roll call of the video shows that I have 15%. Whether you include the 10 blanks that were announced on the party floor, where the other 54 came from, no one knows. When we asked that question openly, we were denied an answer to it. And it's too bad that a court of law has decided this. What
do you hope to gain from this? I mean, you will get on the ballot if you win your challenge. You can get on the ballot. Charlie Baker came in with over 80% of the vote to your less than 15, or let's just say it's 15.
Sure.
You know, that's a huge gap to fill. What do you hope to accomplish?
Yeah, the audience at the primaries, through history, I mean, Governor Weld lost the primary and won the governorship. Kerry Healy lost the convention vote and then won in the primary and then won the lieutenant governorship. Going into this convention, Charlie Baker has 26% of the vote against Martha Coakley. In the last poll that I was against Martha Coakley, I had 30%. The general audience in the primary and in the general election is wildly different than what was at the convention, and that's why we think we can win.
Where are some of the points for you wildly differ from Charlie Baker?
Minimum wage, taxes, illegal immigration.
You're against raising the minimum wage.
It should be raised. It's a free market issue. It's not a government issue. When the government has been involved with regard, let's say, the toll takers on the Massachusetts Turnpike, very minimal skilled job. The average wage for a toll taker is $80,000 with overtime $130,000. I don't think that's the right use of government involvement.
And what are some other areas?
Well, Charlie's position on minimum wage is to lower it for teenagers and to raise it for other than teenagers. Taxes. I'm the only candidate to take the no new tax pledge. Charlie took it 4 years ago. His boss, Governor Weld, took it 4 years ago. He's not taking it now. Not a traditional Republican stance. And illegal immigration. I'm against it. I've said, when I become governor, illegal immigration will be illegal. Charlie's unclear about his position there.
Does that mean you would just deport everybody?
No. We cut off the benefits. They'll self-deport to the next big blue state, be it New York or California. The benefits are what attract people here. Massachusetts gives out more benefits to illegals than all the other New England states combined. That's why they're here.
You're also against some of the benefits, though, for some of the people who live here. You think our welfare is too generous?
Well, their programs are here for the needy. I've been on unemployment 5 times. Some of my supporters need food stamps now. They're there for the needy, not for the greedy. So when we talk about these programs, we're only talking about the abuse and fraud in them. And even the Democrat auditor has shown us in the EBT program, there's $400 million in abuse and fraud there. That's what I'm talking about addressing.
All right, Mark Fisher, we'll be following your case and see how you do in the courts.
Very good. Thank you, Emily.
Thanks for coming.